Are you tired of hitting roadblocks in your dating life? Join me for a free masterclass where I'll be revealing the 3 nice guy dating patterns that turn women off and what you should be doing instead. Unlock the secrets to creating genuine attraction. Click the link in the description to sign up now. Question in the chat says, hey coach, I noticed that the waiting a few days after text has caused me to lose a few chances, it feels like. I don't know if maybe these girls just think I'm too busy or playing around. Not to toot my own horn, but I'm good looking, speak well, don't show neediness unless I'm almost being too distant, which may be my problem. Did you ever run into maybe almost being too distant? So here's my thing, right? And I want to stress this again. What I say to you guys is after a date, I wait 4 days to initiate a conversation, meaning I'm not going to be the one to initiate any flirty text, any how's your day text, because they haven't earned that yet. You know what's funny? I meant to download this video. I actually saw a TikTok video this week where this woman was talking about how she was actually legit dating a man that was like the love of her life and that she'd never experienced love like this before. I feel like I'm singing a song now, love like this before. But anyway, one of the things she said was, she said that when they first started dating, she was so used to guys being inconsistent with her that she had to get used to the idea that when he said a thing, he meant a thing. So she said that they would initially, let's say that, for example, they were talking on Sunday and they were on Sunday talking about setting up a date for Friday. She said that throughout the course of the week, she would be texting him, hey, so just want to make sure our date's still on. Hope you're going to show up for our date, blah, 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 blah. And she said, finally, this man had to sit her down and say, look, I mean the things I say. If I say on Sunday that we have a date on Friday, we have a date on Friday. I'm not changing that up. And so you got to understand a lot of the stuff that you're going to be doing in the early phases of dating is training women to understand what your expectations are and what they can expect from you. And so another great reason to not text so frequently, one is to not set the expectation you're going to be texting all the time, but also to set the expectation for her that at the end of the day, you're a guy that follows through. If you say, hey, I will text you on such a date for another date, that's going to happen. If you say, hey, babe, it's Tuesday, I'm setting a date for you right now for Friday, that's happening, you know? And so women also need to get used to that if you go on a date with them, just because you don't contact them doesn't mean that another date's not coming. So I found in my personal dating life, like after 1 or 2 times where I took them on a date, I showed them a great time. I did not initiate a text for 4 days. I hit them up on day 4, asked them out again. We go out again. We have a good time. I wait another 4 days. By that 3rd week, they get it. Oh, okay. So if he goes out with me and I don't hear from him, he's still interested. It just means that he's going to wait to hit me up unless I happen to hit him up first. So then they'll get into their head like, okay, great. But if I hit him up first, will he respond? And that's what we want. We want women to understand that when they hit us up, we will in fact get back to them and respond. So that 4 days between, when you're just initiating, waiting to initiate. But if she happens to initiate within the span of that 4 days, then yeah, you're gonna talk back to her. Like I remember one time I was dating a woman. We went on a date, had a great time. 2 days later, she texts me, hey, so I know we just saw each other the other day, but like I was thinking maybe we could go to the beach today. And my response was like, that's a great idea. Let's do that. Like I didn't have to wait 4 days for another date. I just was going to wait 4 days before I initiated asking her out again. But if she came to the table and said, hey, so-and-so, like, I want to see you again, let's meet up, of course I'm going to take that date. Now, again, you still want to regulate it. You don't want to be like, I'm available every single day she asks me out ever, because then that's that thing where like women don't know they're causing their own burnout. You know, so you still gotta be mindful. In the beginning, I say you shouldn't be suggesting more than 1 date a week. If she comes along and says, hey, let's go out again, I'd say take that date. And then if she asks for another one right after that, say, hey, you know what? I'm kind of busy for the next 3 or 4 days, but let's do it on this day or time, right? Because women just ultimately want to know that you want to see them again, you know? But to that point, so yeah. So in terms of initiating, I say wait. But if they contact you, you can definitely contact them back. We're not in the habit of trying to like build rapport on text or trying to be hella flirty and have these long conversations. So when she hits you up, just know that means that she's dying to see you again and say, hey, so-and-so, great, nice to hear from you, blah, 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 blah. Hey, you know what? You can talk for a little bit and say, hey, it's great hearing from you. I'm busy right now, but hey, you know what? Why don't we hook up again, connect again on like this coming Thursday? Like you can use her initiation to have some small banter and then set up another date, you know? So we're not trying to ignore women altogether. Now, with all that said, if you find that women are getting mad at you for waiting 4 days to hit them up again. For one, the phone goes both ways. Like if she was really upset or she really wanted to hear from you, she could have hit you up and said, hey, what's going on, big head? How you doing? Because that would be indicative of a woman that is emotionally intelligent, is confident in herself, has her stuff together, but also really, really likes you and has no problem showing that. And that's the reaction we want. If you get a reaction such as, well, you waited 4 days to contact me, so you're playing games, blah, 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 blah. You know what? That was a test that you gave her that allowed her to get out of the running good. And I say this because I know you guys are thinking, but if I would have just talked to her, I would have connected with her. There are too many women out here with a good head on their shoulders that are understanding that in the beginning, she doesn't get all your time and that it's going to take patience for her to get that time. And we want women that are able to show that kind of patience. If she's not able to show it, if she's getting on you blah, 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 blah. And I've said this before, she doesn't know what you were doing in that 4 days. Hey, you could have had a family member die. You could have been on set somewhere. You could have been out in the woods where your phone wasn't able to work. You could have been switching phones. Then you got like T-Mobile and it stopped working and you didn't get a good signal. Like I've had that happen before. Like the point is there are so many scenarios that can come up to where you might not realistically be able to contact her right away. I dated a girl one time where I went out of the country. We were on a first date and I went on an out of country cruise for like 8 days straight and couldn't contact her. Like for her, if I would have gotten back, she'd be like, oh my God, you didn't contact me. I'm sorry I was out of the country for 8 days, but this is stuff that if you test this early, this allows you to test a woman's temperament, and that's a good thing. But you also need to have a mindset of abundance. If you have a mindset of abundance that like there are women out there that you can date beyond this one that's in front of you, then if this one acts up, who cares? There's gonna be another woman that's coming along that will be totally fine that you did not hit her for 4 days. I've gone where I've not hit up women for 4 days, 7 days, 9 days, 2 weeks, months, years, still got the date. So this allows you to test for, does this woman have a straight head on her shoulders? And if she got rid of you, good, you did yourself a favor, all right? There's too many other women out there that will not make this a big deal to deal with the ones that are making it a big deal. So hopefully that answers your question. We got some more questions here. Let's see. I think about what I used to do and bring more women that way, almost like I'm thinking about this too much and give it a bad vibe. What about when you get the number? Doc says to wait a few days to text, which I do, but then it goes completely stale. I'm assuming you mean Doc Love, because I love his stuff. But this is usually before setting the date because I have to see what my schedule looks like. Oh, okay. Let me read that back. You get the number. Doc says to wait a few days to text, which I do, but then it goes completely stale. This usually before setting a date because I have to see what my schedule is. So I'm assuming this means like you're getting the person's number in person as opposed to online. If you're getting it online, then as you're talking to her enough to see if you want to set up a date, at which point you are now setting up a date online. I don't recommend the pathway of, hey, we're talking online. Let me get your number. Let me FaceTime you. I don't do that. I go straight to like, hey, this is a great conversation. Let's go on a date, you know? And so that cuts out a lot of this having to worry about like, let's do phone calls and then texting and then FaceTiming. Those are too many steps to get to the end result, which is like, we need to meet up in person to see if we gel. You don't need all these extra steps to do that. So hopefully you're setting up all the dates and stuff on, do everything in person. Okay, great. So, and by the way, I would not turn down online dating. I have people that I've personally helped that are now married and engaged to people that they met online and are in thriving relationships. I think that there is definitely a skill set aspect that can be used that people need to learn in order to have a successful online dating situation, which is why I have a program called Smart Digital Dating, because it's literally all the stuff I was doing to be able to date successfully with online dating time and time again, week after week, woman after woman. So if you need help with that, if you decide you want to go that route, consider that program. But if you're meeting women in person, here's what I typically do, right? Because back in my party days, like if I met women at parties, right? Like I would definitely make sure there was a vibe there. At the height peak of their enjoyment of our interaction, I'd be like, well, I got to go. Oh, but real quick, let me get your number. I get the number, great. And then I go home. So let's say the party was on like a Saturday, right? Party's on Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. I'd wait 3 to 4 days before I hit them up. Hey, great seeing you at the party. Wanted to take you out to something. Let's do that, you know? So that's what I found has been most effective for me. And so you still want to kind of wait because here's the thing. And I've told this story too. Many years ago, I was working at a telemarketing place and there were some women that worked there, right? I only worked there for 2 weeks, but the first week I was there, that Friday, this girl had mentioned she was going to go out someplace, right? Fast forward to Monday morning, and she and the girls are like all around each other. And one of the girls is like, so what happened this weekend? And then the other girl was like, oh my God, I met this guy at this thing. And so we had such a great time. I got to, party with him. And I don't know if they hooked up or not, but this girl was like going gaga all over this guy, right? And then she was like, and so yeah, I gave him my number, so this must have been a Friday night. So I gave him my number, but he hasn't contacted me. And oh my God. And all the girls could do for the next like hour and a half was talk about, well, what does this mean? Why hasn't he contacted you? Well, maybe because this is that. Well, we hope he will contact you because you seem like such a great woman, this and that. All these women could do was spend their time talking about a guy that they were hoping was going to contact this chick. And so all that meant is that this guy was constantly on her mind and she couldn't stop talking about him, right? So that's what I talk about when I say, guys, that you gotta stop looking at, oh my God, if I don't text her, if I don't call her when she wants me to, she's going to get butthurt. Because the women that have high interest in you, if you're following Doc stuff, Doc says interest level cuts everything. If after that first interaction with you, she is highly interested and she's practically throwing the number at you, she will wait 2 days, 4 days, 8 days, 2 weeks to hear from you, just to be able to say yes to you when you ask her on a date. And that's all we're looking for. We're looking for women that are highly interested, because highly interested women are going to give you the least amount of trouble when you're trying to date them. You guys are trying to be like, well, if I get the number, I got to call her right away because then she's going to be mad at me. Why would you date a chick that's going to be mad at you for not calling her for 3 or 4 days that you just met, that you don't owe a conversation to, or you don't owe her yet the frequency of your interaction? Like in a relationship, yeah, you'd be an a-hole if you didn't call your girlfriend like once or twice a day. But in the dating phase, this is all about you guys getting to know each other. It's about, you're not just exploring her as an option, you're exploring other women as well, which means a woman that understands the dating game is going to understand, I'm probably not hearing from him because he's probably taking out other prospects, which, by the way, is the perspective we actually want her to have. Because as Doc would say, kitty cats compete. Women like the idea that the man that they're after probably has other women after him. It makes him a more desirable candidate. And so you can't be feeling bad if you make her wait 3 or 4 days to hear from you, because all she's gonna be thinking, a woman that has a good head on her shoulders, mind you, is gonna be thinking, he might be seeing other people, or maybe I need to do something better with our interaction, or, oh, maybe he's just busy, he'll get to me when he gets to me. Like, that's a healthy thought process. Women that don't have a healthy thought process and are like, oh, he's playing games. Oh my God, why can't he talk to me now? Again, you don't want to date those women long-term. I'm speaking from experience. Trust me. Women that are going to be all up in your butt about like, oh my God, how dare you not this and that? They're going to fight about other minuscule things later that aren't big deals, but that they will make big deals. This is why, again, this process is designed to suss out the women that would not make good dating candidates. And believe it or not, because we look at women, it's like, oh, they're pretty, they got curves, they're attractive, they must have a good head on their shoulders. We equate women that are attractive with, and therefore they have a good head on their shoulders. I'm telling you, there are a lot of attractive women out there that become way less attractive once you actually spend some time with them, because they don't have a good head on their shoulders. So suss those women out early by waiting and delaying your conversations with them. So hopefully that helps you out. He says, I see that I used to do it on Instagram years ago, but didn't want to do it again after my account got hacked. Like, I think you mentioned this last week too. I think like I said, some of the things you were doing back in your former days, like, it's okay to do those things to be able to attract the women you actually want. Like, if you're not trying to play games with them, you can still do these things and not be game playing in order to pick out the right one that you want. Like, those things are still going to work. And that's the thing I think that guys get confused. They think that, okay, well, for the women that are just pumps and dumps, I got to act one way to get them. But then the girls that are like good girls and what-to-do girls, I got to treat them a different way. No, you don't. Like, both these women want the same things. Like, just like, bad girls like it rough in the bedroom, docile Christian girls who are all about catering to you and being nurturing also want to get banged out. So in terms of the dating process, yeah, if I'm going to be an a-hole, I'm going to wait 4 days to contact her because she needs to know that I'm a busy guy. If I have this girl over here that has a good head on her shoulders, great. I'm going to wait 4 days to test this, make sure she has the actual patience that I need. On top of, I got other things going on, so I'm going to give it time. And if she's there at the end of those 4 days and she wants to go out again, fantastic, great. It means that we're on the same plane. But again, the process works for like all women, which is why, again, my program is so great. So go to introvertdatingsuccess.com, check out the IDS Academy. I promise you, it will change your life for the better.
You's a bad boy, but you can't stop, won't stop. You a high-earning, high-value, high-class man. You a high-earning, high-value, high-class man. You a high-earning, high-value, high-class man. You a high-class man. You a high-class man. You a high-earning, high-value, high-class